Hi everyone, welcome back to the 21 and Sensory podcast with me, Emily. On today's episode, I have the very lovely Ella Maisy Purvis.
Hello.
Ella is a classically trained ballet dancer who went on to retrain as an actor at LAMDA. And in case you aren't aware, that's the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art. Ella's TV and film credits include Blueprint, a BFI short, Heartstopper on Netflix, Malpractice for ITV, and A Kind of Spark for BBC. So,
Woohoo.
Ella, would you want to say hello?
Hello. Yeah, it's weird hearing that read out.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Did I? No, I don't think so.
Are you still
Yes.
kind of getting to grips with all those things after your name?
Well, yeah, because also, like, you expect. I expected to not be working, and I'm not working at the minute. But I'm so grateful that I got an agent out of drama school, and Divergent Talent Group are amazing, because I
Mhm.
think otherwise I'd just be like floundering and you know very very stuck.
Mhm. Yeah, I get you. I guess maybe we could start with that, seeing as you kind of mentioned it, because obviously I mentioned that you're a classically trained ballet dancer. So kind of
Yes.
what was the kind of experience of retraining? Like, why did you decide to go from kind of dancing to acting?
Well, I think ballet is very cut and dry. Like, it's
Hmm.
very black and white. And so that was kind of my language. I could understand that. Like, if something was wrong, it was wrong.
Hmm.
Um, Also, apologize for my voice. But yeah, so, and ballet teachers are famously very, very blunt. And
Yeah.
so I really liked having, somewhere where if it was wrong, I knew it was wrong and I could do it right.
Mhm.
Um, but then I got to a certain level and, I had to make the decision, like, okay, am I going to pursue this as a full-time career, or am I just gonna kind of let it go? And I
Mhm.
was like, it's not actually making me that happy, so I'm gonna let it go. But then obviously I still kind of needed something to do and like get my teeth into. And then I was doing, drama at school and whatnot. And I was like, oh yeah, I actually really, really like that.
Mhm.
And then it was genuinely like an overnight switch. I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna be an actor and I am going to go to drama school.
Amazing.
Um yeah, and I remember my mum going, okay, I mean, yeah, if you set your mind to it, cool. And I was like, yep, that's what I'm gonna do.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and then I think it was the pandemic. I stopped dancing like altogether. I'd kind of started to filter out of my life a bit, and also I was too naughty for ballet classes. Like I, I was. I had a friend. Oh my gosh, and we were so bad. We were so bad. We would drive our ballet teacher just like genuinely up the wall. I feel bad about it now, but I don't think I've ever laughed so much, like sniggering, trying to just like sit there going, Cleo.
Amazing. It's
It
quite
was
a
my,
kind of silent environment other than music as well, isn't it? So it's quite hard to like not, laugh and
yes,
make each other laugh.
I know. And there's a certain point I need to get words out. Like after
Mhm.
about an hour of not speaking, I'm like, I'm gonna start screaming. Um, but yeah, acting felt like drama felt like a natural progression from that.
Mhm. And what sort of age were you when you kind of made that switch?
Oh, I was 16, I think.
Mhm.
16. I vividly remember, like, in secondary school, I didn't go to a fancy school. And I remember that kind of switch, and I was like, right, I am going to read all of the plays in the drama office. And I say office, it was not an office, it was like a broom cupboard, like an actual broom. Um, but yeah, and I loved it so much. I read all of the plays. I was constantly just like watching things, and there's a thing called a National Theatre at home. There's drama online, and I was just like fully engrossed in all of it.
Mhm.
Uh, But yeah, I think I was 16. Yeah, 16.
Okay. And were you aware that you might be neurodivergent at all? Like, was that kind of on your radar?
No.
Mhm.
I mean, like a lot of I think neurodivergent people, the pandemic was a massive like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
I just thought I just liked reading and like, you know, a healthy amount, and I was like, yeah, sure, like this is normal. I can like, you know, read a play and then quote it back. Yeah, no, it's normal. It's normal.
Mhm.
Um, Everybody does this. Everybody loves this. And yeah, then the pandemic happened, and I was like, oh, because a lot of people like started kind of making content, and TikTok became a thing.
Mhm.
And I saw it, and I was like, that is why I've been struggling.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and then I had an assessment, and I vividly remember I was like, okay, I want like a woman to do it because one, money useless, two, you know, I've read about, you know, misdiagnosis and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And like one of the first things she said to me, she was like, well, you know, you hold great eye contact and you're very, very engaging. Like, I don't know, what are you here for? And I was like,
What?
um, I mean, I was just here for like shits and gigs. What are you like? What do you think I'm here for? And I, I remember after she said that, I was like, okay, right. What do I do then? Do I what? And I was so stumped for the whole assessment that I just immediately went into masking mode.
Mhm.
And she, I don't, I still can't wrap my head around some of the stuff she said. And I told my mum, and she was like, oh, that's odd. I was like, yeah, because she's a professional, but you know, even still, I just that whole diagnosis thing was just hellish and so invalidating.
Mhm.
Um, but I guess, you know, it's all okay now. And I am glad that I've kind of like figured out what my needs are, and
Mhm.
you know, things like an access riser, you know, in any industry is so helpful. But yeah,
Mhm.
definitely doing a kind of spark, I was like, oh my gosh, I am surrounded by so many people like me, thank God. Um, and it was, and I'm still such good friends with all of them. I think I'm moving in with Caitlin soon.
Oh,
Um,
that's lovely.
I know it's so sweet. But yeah, this part was amazing for kind of unmasking, and finding friends.
Yeah, which I think, like, is particularly difficult the older you get, is trying to find your people.
I know, because I'm at a weird age where I'm not, you know, like a teenager friends with my home friends,
Yeah.
but I'm also not like I've not been through life enough to have old friends, but I have old friends, but you
Yeah.
know, and especially being neurodivergent, it's so hard to like maintain a healthy friendship.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I'm really glad that I now have healthy friendships.
That's good.
Yes,
And,
yes.
so do you mind me asking, like, so after that kind of assessment, were you kind of put off the idea? Like, did you have to kind of go and do another assessment to kind of um, find out about yourself again? Or like, were you really put off by the fact that she was like, you can give good eye contact, you're not the thing?
Well, she didn't say I wasn't. This is what happened. I went for one, because the wait list was like 5 years, so I went for one private assessment,
Mhm.
uh, and then she basically came back saying, "Yep, you're autistic." And I went, "Cool, cool, cool, cool." And she was like, "Right, but what needs to happen is that I can't put this on paper unless you pay me another £500 for a final assessment." And we were like, "Well,
Mm.
so so I'm what?" She's like, yeah, it's just like legal documents and like whatnot. Oh my gosh, no, that's one of the things that she said. So she said, I don't want to officially put this on paper because once people kind of find out you're autistic, it can stop you in later life.
Oh my god.
And I
What?
went, "What?" And she went, "I don't want you to have that label." And
That's why you're there. You want to know this about
yeah.
yourself.
I was like, "Well, it's not for you to tell me what I should and shouldn't, be labeled." It's like,
Mhm.
"What?" She genuinely, that sticks in my mind so much that she was like, "No, I just, you're normal enough." Basically what she's saying, "You're normal enough. I don't need to give you this label that will drag you down, this stigmatizing label."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I'm here because I'm really struggling and I need, support." Um, yeah, that was bizarre, bizarre. And then sorry, I can't remember what the question was.
It's all right. I was just kind of asking about that kind of first assessment bit, but I
Oh,
think you've kind of answered that, that first assessment, even though you went private, she didn't seem to know what she was talking about.
she didn't. She did not. Um, and it just like reaffirms the idea that just like every autistic person just knows themselves so much better than
Mhm.
anyone else. And I think also a lot of autistic women, AFAB people, and binary people, autistic people in general have autistic parents. So like a lot of what I was going, "Oh, but I do this, mum," and she go, "Yeah, but I do that. So does your father." I'm like, "No, I
Mhm.
realize that's because you passed it on to me."
Yeah, it's a whole
Yeah,
gang of us.
yeah.
Amazing. I think also you kind of almost get that kind of radar for like other
Yeah.
people. You're like,
It's a
oh,
gay bar.
yeah, literally.
The autistic version is Ordar.
Doesn't
Adar.
quite work as well as gaydar, does it?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah, I do get that. I mean, it's really worrying to me that obviously you had to, it sounded like pay in stages just to be able to get access to paperwork that said you were
Yeah.
autistic. But the fact that even though you went private and you think it would be maybe even more specialist than the NHS, for example, that
Yeah.
they also really didn't have a clue what they were talking about. Like how worrying for younger children or parents going with their children and stuff like that. Like to be put off and never think about it again. Like I'm glad that you stuck with it and you were like, I know myself.
It's just like with the ADHD assessment as well. You have to remember to send emails, fill out paperwork, and send off forms. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna absolutely not do that and turn it in late.
Mhm.
Uh, we all know the whole system is so inaccessible, but if you don't understand what's being asked of you in that assessment,
Mhm.
then the chances of getting a diagnosis is very, very slim, especially as a female presenting person. Like, you have to know exactly what to say, and
Yeah.
how should you be expected to know that?
Mhm. And also, I'd like to think that they'd know that you'd be coming in masking, like even more so as someone that works as an actor. Like you've kind of even
Yeah, I've
more.
mastered that.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's kind of your job to mask in a way,
It
as
is
terrible as
true.
that is.
No, I wish I got paid every single day for masking, because
Yeah.
then I'd be so rich.
Why is that not a thing? Like you've been doing that all your life unpaid and now like it's your job. Like you kind of feel
No,
like you should get a back payment.
yeah, I should get like a deposit or something.
Yeah, that'd be great. Set you up for life. Like
Yes, thank you.
and I know you kind of mentioned about like working on a kind of spark. We can't not talk about it, but what was it like? I know you touched on it a little bit, like working with like a really supportive cast and also like crew of neurodivergent people. Like I think I watched one of their kind of behind the scenes videos, and
Oh
it
yeah.
seemed like you were able to all kind of like see the set beforehand, and like there were spaces that you could go to if you felt a bit kind of overwhelmed. And it was like none of this is like massive asks, but
Yeah.
these things really do like add up and help.
Yeah, I mean, I think for everyone, and including myself, it was a massive learning curve in terms of what are my needs, are they being met?
Mhm.
Uh, but I think just the cast and you know, our gorgeous directors. Like they, you know, are just such lovely people that you feel like you can kind of let your guard down a bit.
Mhm.
So with that added, like, hey, I need this, 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 and this. If this isn't happening, then I'm not going to be able to work.
Yeah.
You know, that safety in place, and you know, I have to thank my agent for a lot of that.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, it was so fun as well. Like, you know, Ben, and like he literally, we did like a Zoom table read, and I was like, I know him. I know him. Um, yeah, and just being on set. Although I don't miss the kind of like 5 a.m. starts and having to sit in a chair and put that
Mhm.
itchy wig on. Oh my gosh, that was horrible.
I
I
think I
think
saw a video of you having it like put on. It looked like such a process.
it was, and I was like, why can't I just have short white blonde hair?
Just as I am, please.
I am. But Ben would literally like waltz in like 2 hours after and have like to get someone go doop, 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 and then he'd be out, and we'd just be looking at him like, you fucking, you, yeah, all right, yeah, you don't have to wear a cage hoop, do you? No.
Yeah, you really got the short straw there with the whole costume
Yes.
setup and hair and makeup and it
No,
all.
and it got to a point I was like, why did you cast me? Like, why you mad? um, no, my favorite costume was definitely the nightgown, which I wasn't in a lot because it was so comfy.
Do you
So
find like you struggle at all in terms of like sensory issues from like costumes and makeup and stuff? Like, how do you, you saying that that one was comfy compared to the, the one that you were in more? Like, how do you manage that, and how does it like not show on your face when you're acting?
this is the thing, like it's like a hard line of like, okay, hello, like you are wearing like a 16th century like corset with a big hoop, it's going to be uncomfortable, and also how much
Yeah.
of that can you take?
Mhm.
um and it did get especially hard like towards the end of the days with like the mic packs, and you know, the corset would just always be so much tighter, and
Mhm.
oh, it did get really difficult. But you know, we were also filming in such a gorgeous location. I could just like go out in the garden and I would just feel fine.
Okay.
um, but yeah, it is really difficult, and you know, there are times I'm like, am I cut out for this or whatever? But you know, a 5 minute break makes all the difference, really.
Mhm. I guess just having that escape from everything for just a little bit, that's a good idea. I guess like on a kind of spark, maybe other people could relate to it, but like on other things you might have done, you might not have been upfront about telling people that you're really uncomfortable and really like this is kind of, overwhelming.
Yeah, I had a lot of, I did some like prosthetic makeup-y thing for Malpractice.
Mhm.
Uh, I remember because they put it on and they put it on and it was fine, but you know, you spend hours just waiting on set doing nothing. So I was waiting in
Mhm.
my, and I couldn't lie down on the place that I wanted to lie down on, and I was just like, oh dear. And I couldn't kind of put my head down because my hair was all styled in this very intricate, gorgeous way, and I could not wait to take that off.
Mhm.
But you know, then I saw the scene on screen and I was like, oh my God, that looks so cool. That was so worth it. You know, surrounded by everyone else, you can kind of take your mind off it a bit.
Mhm.
I filmed my practice first.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I'm saying like I filmed my practice. I had a trailer. I was not there for long at all.
I
They
saw
also
you.
cut my scenes.
Oh
Like,
no.
no, I was thinking this is such good showreel stuff. And
Yeah.
then it like, where are my lines?
Oh.
I know. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you always get like post, you know, like job depression, and you know, since it
Mhm.
kind of not actually worked. I've not actually gotten another gig. Um, and so I mean, it is a really hard industry to be in, full
Mhm.
stop, but especially when you need a routine, need planning, and you know, if you don't have a routine, like, what am I going to do all day?
Mhm.
And so it is a really tricky industry, full stop, but especially for neurodivergent people, it's just like, it's hell. You're just waiting for your agent to go, yep, you got the role, or no. And like, it's heartbreaking. Oh,
Can't like imagine how terrifying that is. Like to know, like, oh, okay, I'm filming for 3 months and this is my daily structure and it's very rigid and like times are set. And then to not have that all of a sudden, like
oh
I
my
get
God.
what you mean about like that kind of like mourning of that structure, but also not knowing what's next. Like it does sound terrifying.
I mean, it's especially horrible when you get so close to something.
Mhm.
Uh, and I was so close to something like pretty big. And then I got the call saying no, and it was just like, I spent like months auditioning, and then you
Oh,
hear back, and you're like, what do I do with myself? I have nothing to look forward to. Um,
yeah. And to not
like,
take it like
oh, it's
personally.
so, yeah, it was
Yeah.
so, and especially when you get feedback, and like sometimes the feedback is a bit problematic,
Mhm.
and that hurts. And when you get that like specific feedback, you just go, oh, it's okay, I'm fine.
Mhm.
But again, beauty of this industry, there will be something else. And there has been. So now I'm just kind of waiting for a call on one thing that I really want.
Mhm.
And then if I don't get it, there'll be another thing. It's just a matter of, will it stick?
Yeah.
Probably not, but
And I
hopefully.
guess like in the meantime of like waiting, like are you picturing yourself in the role? Like,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I just I mean, I wish I had a tape for a Mission Impossible film, but like I'm now obsessed with Rebecca Ferguson and those films.
Mhm.
Like I'm really hyperfixating on her. Um and I I keep playing the soundtrack and like imagining myself. I'm like, yeah, okay, what I would do is like run with Tom Cruise, jump off this building, and then with this, I do like that, and then blah, blah, blah. I don't. There's no way that I would ever be in one of those films ever. But my God, will I listen to the soundtrack and go, yeah, yeah. So this is the stunt I would do. My costume would be like this, and then me and Rebecca Ferguson would get married. You know,
But you've got it planned, and should any opportunity arise, you are available
yeah,
and ready.
always available. And I've made up like a backstory about how I got the role, and I think every actor's also pretended that they're on the Graham Norton show and
Oh yeah.
all their awards accepting and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
when you ask me, I can like lightning recite it back.
Mhm. And talking of like reciting things back, how do you kind of like prepare for a role? Like, for example, in like a series, like how do you learn that amount of lines? Like, do you kind of break them down? Like anything else that you kind of have to do to prepare?
I would love to say that I am an actor that extensively prepares and whatnot, but I don't. I can look at a piece of text and go, right, cool, got it. You know,
That's
and
a
obviously,
skill.
no, it is very helpful.
Mhm.
I would say my method is more like Olivia Colman, who does nothing. Uh, no, I do. I kind of there are certain beats of the scene that you need to hit, and you get notes from the director on the day, and you're like, right, okay, I need to do this, 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 and it's completely different working in theatre. Um, I'll definitely spend a lot of time if it's a piece of theatre, but I think with screen, it's just like it's so immediate and so choppy and changey that it's very, very, and things like change on the day as well. It's very hard to like prepare and it not kind of go AWOL.
Mhm.
And also I love like that's why I love theatre so much. It's like the spontaneity of it, and I always try and bring that into screen work because it is much less spontaneous, I think.
Yeah.
And especially, you know, with someone like a character where you can't, like Eleanor, like she's not very spontaneous at all. She's very planning and whatnot. I think that was actually quite difficult not to like there are a couple of moments in the show where I think I let the best of my like, kind of get away from the character because I was like, let's do something funny. And then I watched it back and I was like, ooh, I probably shouldn't have done that, and I'm not sure why it made it in.
But that
um,
says something about, you know, what they were kind of looking for, or what they were
yeah,
like, oh, you know, that comes across really well.
yeah, we'll stick with that.
Hmm.
Most of the time it was the end of the day and I was like, I want to do something fun,
Hmm.
please. Yeah.
I guess also like you have to kind of put your own stamp on things as well. Like obviously you're paying this character, but there's kind of, you know, there's got to be a bit of you in it as well. And especially if you're getting to the end of the day, like, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And do you have, I mean, in between kind of, you know, when you do have jobs, do you
Mm.
have any kind of like downtime, like kind of special interests or hobbies? Like,
A lot of downtime.
mhm,
I am chronically unemployed.
mhm,
But I think whenever this is the one thing why I kind of didn't relate to the autistic experience, because like I didn't have like an area that I was like obsessed with, like something like, I don't know, um I can't think of anything. It was more like people and like a film.
mhm,
You know, I remember being so obsessed with like actresses, and I would learn everything there is to know about them and whatnot, and films as well. You know, I'd watch a film and immediately fall in love and just go, right, I need to know everything about this film.
mhm.
And so right now it is Rebecca Ferguson, the love of my life, and also, I mean, Bridesmaids. I love that film so much. I It's such a comfort film.
Mhm.
And also, what else do I do with my what else do I do?
It is, I did put you on the spot, like, what, you know, what is your life?
Who am I? No,
Yeah.
I also I do I love to see what people are working on next. So like I'll see a director that I really want to work with and I'll see what they're doing next and spend like hours like crafting emails and researching the
Mhm,
project, like pulling strings from people that I know might be involved. And I
mhm.
think also that definitely is something that I kind of hyperfixate and kind of put my um all of my tism into.
What were we talking about? We were talking about, oh yeah, special interests and things.
Oh,
Uh,
cats.
oh, tell me about cats.
No, cats.
As in the film or as in the
No,
animals?
no, as in the animals. My God,
We were
what a
talking about films. I was going to say, like, really,
rubbish.
Cats the film? It's, I
No,
wouldn't go for
it's
that.
rubbish. It's not rubbish, it's just got James Corden in it. So immediately I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's a bit like, oh, he's in it.
Again?
Again?
Really?
Yeah, exactly. Not again. Um, do you
God.
have any cats?
Yes, I have a cat. I have a
Oh,
cat with her nickname tattooed on me as well.
oh,
Her
that's cute. What's her name?
name, well, her full name is Puzzles Purvis, but we
Amazing.
call her Honey. That's her main nickname. Honey, Fruit Bat, the Mighty Horse, Small Fruits, the Silliest Fruit, Mrs. Silliness, the Victorian Lady, Seal. You know, like I think every cat owner has so many ridiculous nicknames for their child.
Mhm.
That when you say it out loud, it's, you know, it sounds like I might need a little bit of help, but
Oh
she
no,
is.
I think yeah, that is the joy of owning a pet is all the ridiculous names that they understand when you say them.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Hmm. Oh, that's so cute. And so, will this cat be moving with you as well?
No,
Oh,
no, cat will stay put. Um,
mm,
me and Caitlin really want to get a tortoise.
that'd be cute.
No, because my mum's friend has some. My mum just told me, she's like, yeah, yeah. Our friend, whatever her name is, has now got loads of tortoises. Would you like one? I mean, yes, I would love a tortoise.
Yeah.
Uh, so that might be a new thing.
Have you seen the like videos online where they like take them out of their like pens to clean them and they put them on little like toy cars and they just like whiz around the room while the owner's cleaning?
It's so much.
So good.
Okay.
Although the only thing I think about tortoises is you have to put them away for like 6 months.
Yeah, they just go to sleep, which I think is fine. Like you just like put them in a little blanket and
True. I just feel like I'd miss them in that time.
I would miss them too, but I understand the long nap kind of.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, like sometimes I mean I am a chronic napper, and so I can't judge. I can't judge.
Mhm. Fair enough. You understand it on a on a human level. I get you.
Yeah, yeah, spiritual.
Mhm. Where can people follow you online, and where can people watch you? I feel like that's always a good kind of ending kind of bit.
Yes. You can follow me on Ella Maisy Purvis on Instagram. And if Rebecca Ferguson, you're listening, I'm free for Mission Impossible. We can talk contract and whatnot. Happy to do my own stunts.
See
Um,
what's not to like.
See, I'm free and willing.
Hmm.
Um, yes, my agent is a Divergent Talent Group for any needs, any if you want me to be on your show, I will probably do it because I'm bored. But yes, that is it. That is
Hmm.
it.
And I'm assuming things that you have been in are on catch up that people can watch. Like,
Yes,
yeah.
please watch BBC. I play as a kind of spark. I am fabulous in it, and so
You
is
go
everyone
for
else.
it.
I am so amazing, Rebecca Ferguson. You should watch a kind of spark. Yes, but please tell CBBC to give us a season 2, and
Yes.
it'd be great.
Oh, that would be so good. And I feel like even just like from seeing people's tweets and stuff, like people want it. Like, come on.
Come on, come on.
Yeah, we need this in our lives. Amazing. So I will link all of those things that you said in the show notes so people can just like click on the links. Um,
Okay.
yeah, thank you so much for chatting to me.
That's okay. It's been a lovely chat.